is Reverend Scott Olson coming to you live from this is Reverend Scott Olson coming to you live from Ahiah in downtown Pasadena, California. Thank you, thank you. How's that doing? Yeah. All right. This is Reverend Scott Olson. Love all of you. We are good, he says.
Greetings and welcome everybody. This is Master Sio coming to you from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in Pasadena, California. Thank you very much for joining us here today for our powerful healing meditation. A few days ago, I ran across a story online about a medical doctor with an MD whose daughter was inconsolable at times, including prolonged bouts of crying, and she herself couldn't find out exactly what was wrong with her baby. So she also consulted with several other physician specialists who also couldn't really come up with a satisfactory solution. So it turned out that the solution was an aspect of divine love, which is freely available to you, to me, and all of mankind. Divine love, also known as the universal consciousness, and many other names such as God or Allah, Jesus Christ, a higher power, and so on. These symbols of the universal consciousness actually provide us, humanity, with powerful free gifts that are forever available to all of us. So this physician found out that when she took her daughter out in her backyard and let her run around barefoot on the grass, she suddenly changed her behavior in a profoundly positive way. She stopped fussing, stopped crying, and was just smiling and giggling and very, very happy outdoors on the grass. To make a long story short, she found out that exposure of her daughter's skin to the earth or the grass, the infant was affected positively through her feet, receiving powerful electrons, also known as negative ions, provided by Mother Earth through her feet and up into the rest of her body, where these negative ions kind of canceled out the positive ions. I know the terms here are kind of switched around, but I'll explain it to you. Through the pollution of our atmosphere, from inflammation and lowered immunity. But in any event, the physician noticed this over and over, and then she did some research and found out what I just shared with you. Mother Earth, or the universal consciousness, provides many, many free tools to us. One of them is walking barefoot on the grass or dirt or sand on the beach. This puts our feet in touch with Mother Earth so that we can receive these negative ions to help us to become more healthy in a relatively painless way. This we can do by walking barefoot along the beach. If you notice, people feel very, very happy walking on the beach. A secondary benefit by being on the beach is our inhaling ozonated air, or ozone. This is not talking about the pollution ozone. This is a positive type of ozone which is formed from the ocean, and it comes out of the ocean and spreads out to the beach. So we are detoxifying ourselves with wonderful ozonated air from the atmosphere at the beach, and also through receiving negative ions through our feet. It's not only the feet that are affected. Our feet have a whole bunch of acupressure points that affect every single organ in our body. So by walking barefoot on the beach, the earth or the sand or the grass or the dirt comes in contact and presses against these pressure points, and it affects our heart or our liver, our kidneys. I'm sure that if you go online, you will find diagrams of the various acupressure points in our feet that correspond with our organs, including our brain, our eyesight, our nerves, and so forth. So this doctor wrote a very extensive essay on her findings, kind of accidentally, if you will, by observing her daughter's behavior and the instant relief that her daughter got from just running around barefoot. We human beings always look to improve things to make our life much more comfortable. And so scientists started to experiment and discovered that not only our feet would receive the powerful healing negative ions from Mother Earth, but our skin as well. Any part of our body, bare skin, in touch with the dirt or sand or Mother Earth, we would be able to receive these health-enhancing negative ions. So some scientists and entrepreneurs have devised a way of making us receive these helpful ions in a very relaxed, actually during our sleep even. So there are these items on sale, you can find them online, which connects us to Mother Earth at any point. Here's how it works. The sheets or the pads that connect us to Mother Earth from inside of our houses are embedded with little fine lines or particles of conductive materials such as copper or silver, so fine that the material, like cotton for example, are still breathable and flexible, and you can sleep on it very safely, and it would be like sleeping outdoors on Mother Earth. Other items are for your feet. You can place your feet here and receive the same benefits as though your feet were outside on the bare ground while you are working at your desk, for instance. I have a bed sheet embedded with tiny silver threads that I place on top of my bottom sheet, and then I lie on this earthing sheet with some bearskin in touch with it, and then put my regular top sheet on top of my body. The earthing sheet is connected with a wire into the ground port of the electrical outlet at the foot of my bed. All modern houses have electrical outlets that have 3 prongs. 2 are conducting the electricity, and the third one, which is usually here in the States a round hole, is called the ground wire, and that wire is running through your house or apartment buildings or condominiums. They're all connected to this ground wire, which eventually winds up outside in the ground, tied up to a big grounding rod. Some of these rods are 2 feet, sometimes 6 feet deep into the earth. All houses have this ground wire. For me, with my earthing sheet, there is absolutely no danger of me getting electrocuted. So while I'm sleeping, my body is being detoxed by Mother Earth, and I have to tell you that the very first night that I used this, I woke up in the morning feeling glorious. I suppose this is how gazelles generally wake up in the spring. I slept very soundly, just a beautiful experience with vivid dreams in stereo sound. Mother Earth gives us many, many different free gifts to enhance ourselves, and this is just one example of the divine love, of which we are all an aspect, giving us free gifts, just like we can get free oxygen from the trees. Here are some of the examples or benefits that we can get from being grounded, whether it's through a floor mat connected to the outside, or walking barefoot on the beach, which is my favorite, or while you are sleeping through a earthing sheet. Being grounded will really help you to sleep better. There are reports of people benefiting with their eyes. Their eyes seem to look better. Once again, I myself have benefited from this. I noticed that my eyes are more clear. The very first morning after I used it, like the night before, I got up and I looked in the mirror, and I was astonished by how clear the whites of my eyes were. It was like a little baby's eyes. Being grounded or earthing also stimulates the entire body. I would suggest that you consider this. You don't have to buy the sheet or special grounding mats. You can just go walk around outside or go to the beach more often. You have to have bare feet. We communicate, you and I, at this very instant through these little light particles, microscopic ones, known as biophotons. While you are looking at me, there is a two-way exchange of information between us, from me to you and from you to me. When I keep quiet, I ask you to just observe what you are feeling, what you might be seeing, as you keep your eyes open and focused on my third eye. The more you observe, the more that you notice, acknowledge to yourself only what you are feeling or seeing, the deeper you will slide into the healing zone. Now I go into a silent mode. You may now gently close your eyes if you wish, or just keep them open as I recite some encouraging affirmations to you to help you enhance your health and enjoy a happy life. I am starting to feel happier. Others are beginning to notice how happy and positive I am. I will be thankful for each day. I will become happy and spread positive energy to others. I am finding that I feel joyful on a daily basis. I will always be optimistic and have a positive outlook on everything in my life. I will always see the bright side of life, especially in difficult situations. I will nurture a deep sense of internal happiness within myself. My life is getting better all the time. I am noticing that I feel more optimistic about life. I am full of joy every moment, every hour of every day, all year round. Every day I am happy. I just feel good. I see happiness wherever I go. Just locally, or when I visit other towns, even when I'm driving in the country, I see happiness in the trees. I see happiness with the birds flying. I see and feel happiness when the wind blows through my hair. I have boundless positive energy within me, and my family and my friends and even strangers notice this about me. I am grateful for my life regardless what is happening. I I see the good in everything around me. I am full of positive energy every single day. I am happy with who I am. I accept myself unconditionally, even as I strive to be better at everything. I have a great life. Other people are drawn to me because I am so full of life and I look happy all the time. I am a naturally happy person. Life just feels great all the time to me. I can easily pick myself up and lift my spirits when needed. This is my attitude about everything in my life. Being optimistic comes easily to me. There is no effort at all involved. I am the one that others look to for reassurance during difficult times. Great things always seem to come my way. I feel a natural sense of peace and happiness within myself. Being happy all the time is normal for me. Every day I am better and better at feeling happy all the time. I choose to have a positive outlook and a positive view of myself and all others. I'm filled with a sense of gratitude just for being alive. Life is good. I am starting to feel happier. Others are beginning to notice how happy and positive I am. I will be thankful for each day. I will become happy and spread positive energy to others. I am finding that I feel joyful on a daily basis. I will always be optimistic and have a positive outlook on everything in my life. Please gently open your eyes. Please gently open your eyes and notice just how much brighter everything around you looks and how much more vivid they are. This is because you allowed yourself to heal yourself and of course know that you are your own best healer. If you can, please join us in a few moments for our regular celebration service led by our senior minister here at Ahiah, the Reverend Scott Olson. This is Master Sio. Thank you.
So much for all that you do. I love that idea of grounding ourselves and being more grounded in our lives, whether it's physically by touching the ground or mentally by coming more and more to our center. So I want to ask the people who have come here to listen to Master Sio today if they would be willing to contribute a few dollars to help Master Sio stay on the air, so to speak. And if you are willing, then there are 3 different ways for you to contribute, and they're showing up on the screen right now. And you can either go to ahiah.com/donate, that's AHIAH for Ahiah, or you can text to give at 616-229-2225, or last of all, you can always just mail us a check, because we love to get checks. And so mail that to Ahiah at 150 North El Molino Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91101. However you do that, just know that you are supporting Master Sio, you're supporting Ahiah in all the work that we do, whether it's here on Sunday or throughout our week. And we truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And so I'd like to ask if those people who have come to see Master Sio, if you'd like to join us for our Sunday celebration, which is starting actually right now, because my clock says 11 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get going, folks. So we have a great Sunday celebration for you. Here it is. You can tell I'm in pink, so it must be Valentine's Day. And so we're here to share the love and share all the goodness that we are naturally as the life that God is with each and every one of our people in our community, with the people here that are in the center today, as well as those of you who are tuning in virtually with us. And I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys out there. If you are new to our community, I'd like to suggest that you go and subscribe to our newsletter, because that'll keep you tuned in to all the things that are done Ahiah. It's all virtual at the moment, so it's good to know what that calendar is. And you can do that by going to our website at ahiah.com/subscribe, and that it'll take you to a form. You fill it out, give us your email address, and we'll send it out to you every Friday. And so now I'd like to just say thank you and to all the folks that are here today and make this service possible. I want to start with our music team. We have a huge music team today. So I want to start by thanking our guest singers. We've got Connie Rouse and Stefanos Dadas here today, and they're here every second Sunday, and we just love them. So thank you, guys. And today we have our regular band, which is led by Chris Glick, our music director. But we have Mahesh. Mahesh, what's your last name? I can't remember. Say that again. Balasurya. So Mahesh Balasurya, and we're so happy to have him on the piano. If you've been here at Ahiah before, you've heard Mahesh play, and he is spectacular. So we're so happy to have the god of piano back here on our stage. And we have Leon on the bass, we got Brian on the drums, and so we just have a great music program for us today. I've been bouncing off the walls. People who've been here during the rehearsal will know that, so it's been great. And so we also have here, we have our practitioner emeritus, Patricia Roach, will be doing our reading and invocation. And we have our dear assistant minister, Reverend Michael Lattimore. He'll be here for our power talk today. So we got a great team. We also have some people here that make this all possible. We have Gloria on sound. Thank you, Gloria. And we have Harris tickling the keys on the computer back there. And we've had a couple of technical issues today, so we appreciate having prayer for for the whole technical atmosphere at Ahiah today, so that it all just comes out naturally and effortlessly. And then we have a couple of people that help us in our virtual environment. We have Louise Mucha on Facebook, we have Peter Bedard on YouTube, and Mindy Morrison is on our Zoom room. So they're just monitoring our chat and helping out with anybody who wants to say anything. So I hope you're chatting out there. It's great to be connected. And let's give those people a hand. And so now we have a special presentation for our music video, which is a meditation video, and it's a Karen Drucker song, and I love Karen Drucker. So I'm just going to invite you all to take a deep breath in with me and just let it go as we listen to our music video.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease, and may we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. I am filled with loving kindness. am peaceful and at ease, and I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease, and I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
Oh, isn't that lovely? It very much puts me in the mood for a little more prayer. So I'm going to ask our practitioner emeritus, Patricia Roach, to do our reading and invocation. And this will buzz just a little bit.
Thank you for sharing. Good morning. You're so beautiful. Happy Valentine's Day. It is my pleasure. Oh. Okay. Thank you. It is my pleasure to be here in the sanctuary for the first time for almost a year. It feels so good. And I am so happy to be here. My name is Patricia Roach, and I am a practitioner emeritus here at Ahiah. And it is my pleasure this morning to share with you our readings. So our theme this month is One Journey, Many Paths, and I found a short poem from Three Magic Words by U.S. Anderson. It says, "No gate too straight, no journey too far, when the paths is lit by the gleam of radiant rays of the guiding star of love, the law that's supreme." And so one desire is love. And our topic for our wisdom talk is divine love, which is, I guess, very close to my heart, because love is what life is all about. And we are here to be loved, to love, and to be loved. For we are that divine love that we call God or Spirit. So I have some readings to share, and then I'm going to do the invocation. The readings are from the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science. The first one is from the glossary, page 608, love. Love is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. We are also told in the New Testament that he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Love is free from condemnation and judgment, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. And from, again, the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes, this is page 478, the chapter from Teachings of Jesus. Love is the central flame of the universe, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love and that we are his expressed likeness. the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is an essence and atmosphere, which defies analysis as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common for all people, for all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. Words cannot express its depths or meaning. A universal sense alone bears witness to this divine fact. God is love, and love is God. That divine love that is God is in each one of us right here and right now as we turn within for our invocation. I invite you to be comfortable, and if you like, close your eyes or look down. And just know right where you are, God is. That love of the divine, the very essence of life itself, is in you right here and right now. And just feel it. For that love, whether you are here in the sanctuary or you're out virtually watching and listening, we are all connected as one through this loving essence of Spirit itself. It is our desires. It is what binds each one of us and all of life, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, all that is this essence of divine perfect love. And it's perfect because God is perfect. So as I speak my word, knowing that there is only one life, one love, and that's God. And that life and love is each one of us right here and right now. I speak my word knowing the truth that each one of us is perfect, whole, and complete. We can be no less, for we are that likeness, that image, made as a creation and expression of the Most High God. I am so grateful that I know this truth, not just for myself, but for each one of you. I see love, I see light, and I feel that connection of life itself. So I speak a word for this service at Ahiah, knowing that I bless each and every one here. I bless the volunteers. I bless our musicians, knowing that their voices and their instruments are also divinely inspired. For it is the love of this beautiful expression of life that flows through each one that is giving of their time and their service for all of us to have a wonderful experience. Divine love is our topic for today, and I am wishing everyone a wonderful, beautiful Valentine's Day, knowing that this divine love is the love that we can give to ourselves. It's called self-love, an expression of life. So let us just come together knowing, as this one love, that we too are one life, connected by this divine spirit. I am so grateful and appreciative of the love that we share here at Ahiah. For we are a loving, kind, generous community. And I will be so happy when we are all back together as one in Ahiah. So I give thanks to the Most High, the infinite spirit, that divine presence, knowing that all is in divine perfect order right here and right now, knowing that my word goes into the universe and does not return void. It is already done in the mind of God. And I just say thank you, Spirit. Thank you, divine presence, and thank you, divine love. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen.
A little cleaner than it was. So I'd like to go ahead and ask Connie Rouse to come on up. And we're going to fill you guys with a little bit of music.
All right, happy Valentine's Day, Ahiah family. Truly, I'm always so grateful to be here with you. This is a loving community, and I truly appreciate each of you. Yes, my dear sister friend Stefana is here with me today. She will join me on the second song. And now we'd like to do a song in honor of Valentine's Day.
At last, my love has come along, and my lonely days are over, and life is like a song. At last, the skies above are blue, and my heart was wrapped up in clover, and I looked at you. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I had never known. Oh, and then you smiled, and then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last. All right.
Yes, y'all. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I had never known. Oh, and then you smiled, and then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven. For you are mine at last. Whoa.
My. It's just so nice and smooth. It's so nice to hear you guys like that. So here we are in February. We're 14th of February. We're halfway through the month already. It's just crazy. Time's going so fast. And this month of February, we have a theme that is one journey, many paths. And this one journey that we are all on, we all are on it together, is a journey where we are on the way towards oneness. Each and every one of us. But we get to take many, many paths. We are each and every one of us individualized expressions of the divine, and so we get to be on whatever path we're on and want to be on. And last week we talked about that path as being like on a map. If you had a map and you chose to go from LA to New York City, back in the old days, you would have traced it out on a piece of paper map, a paper map, and figured it all out. And you might have woken up one day and figured out that you'd been in Barstow for a couple of years and just kind of stuck there. Or you might have woke up and found that you were in Mexico City and you just on a path that is nowhere near going to the destination that you had envisioned, which is New York. And so we said, well, what do you do about that? And we said that the answer to both of those is to clean the slate, that you need to have a clean slate, and you can then redefine things. And if you are stuck in Barstow and you want to get out of your rut, the best idea is to start out with a beginner's mind again. Try and get on a new path with a beginner's mind. And if you're down in Mexico City, then there's a great idea of just cleaning that slate, cleaning all the old judgments that have led you astray, and write down some new ideas, some new thoughts, some new beliefs, some new things that will, be more in alignment with the dream life that you had been planning for yourself all along. So we have some great ideas, though, going forward. Month's just begun, and so today I'd like to ask Reverend Michael Lattimore to come on up and tell us a little bit more about what he knows about one journey, many paths. Let me spray it for you. And there we go.
Thank you, Reverend Scott. I feel clean. Oh, God morning, family. And happy Love Day. If you have any questions, if you're in the least bit confused about what's going on the planet, I assure you love is the answer. And love is the only thing going on, no matter what it looks like. love is, because love is God, like we heard from the reading, and God is love, and that is the only power, the only presence. And it's important that we keep our attention focused on that we know that, because there's a lot of distractions out there. You know, the scripture uses a word called repent, which means to turn away from. Just turn away from. You know, give it the hand. That's not my truth. Love is my truth. I am so grateful to be here. You know, last week, I was just on such a spiritual high to be home, to be in this room, to be in your presence, that I completely forgot that it's Black History Month. And that's important, because Black history is American history. It's our history. My story, your story, our story. You know, and we are basically the foundation of this country. You know, the riches of sugar, tobacco, cotton that our ancestors worked for free to create, created the financial foundation of this nation, of Europe, basically of the planet. And that we need to step up to. And so recently, I have been doing some research on my mother's story. And what I discovered was some amazing figures in Black history that I didn't know about, but they're all around us. And so this morning, I want to introduce you to at least one of them. And perhaps in the newsletter, with Reverend Scott's permission, I'll tell you about another one that we have a personal connection to in our family. So the first person is a lady named Annie Malone. So Annie Malone was born somewhere around 1877. There's a little bit of conflict about that, but somewhere around in that era. She was in a large family, 11 children, and she was orphaned very early in life. But Annie, I'm making this up. Annie liked to play beauty shop. You know, Black women have always been like into the hair thing. And back then, they used things like goose grease and bacon grease and things to do the hair, you know. And so she was like, you know, something wrong with this picture. And as she started school, she got really intrigued about chemistry, you know, and that's a sign of love, because inside of all of us, we've been planted with something that excites us, you know, when we hear about it. And so she was excited about chemistry, and she just started making up stuff for the hair. And she created her own line of cosmetics. And you may have heard of Sarah Breedlove, or maybe you heard of her alter ego, Madam C.J. Walker. Well, Madam C.J. Walker worked for Annie. She was one of her salespeople who went door to door selling her products. So Annie was so in love with this presence of creativity, you know, that was in her, that she created an empire, and actually was the first African-American female millionaire before Madam C.J. Walker. Now, she was also very much inspired by African mystical spirituality. The name of her product was Poro. And if you research Poro, it's an African mystical secret society. They could not be above ground because of colonialism, and it's the fact that they brought Christianity in. They called that paganism, and so they crushed it. But they had a secret society. It was based on African mystical spirituality, principles of Mayat, principles of truth, principles around love. And so she did what she loved. And in the early 19th century, around I think it was around 1908, somewhere around there, she started building this empire. And she built an enterprise in St. Louis that had a beauty college, there was an auditorium, there were meeting rooms, there was a restaurant, there was a hotel. I mean, like all in one huge building. She employed about 175 people in the city of St. Louis and Chicago. And I had heard, I'm still validating this, that she had 75,000 agents around the world. Now, I'm still researching that, but when I heard that, I was like, whoa, we're talking about in a time when the Ku Klux Klan was rising, when Jim Crow was at its height. This was a time when, you know, there was a lot of things that would have stopped an average person who was not focused on love, was not focused on God, not focused on truth, to say, oh, I could never do that. No, but she helped thousands of people. So how Annie and I are connected is that she was a philanthropist, right? And she sat on the board for the St. Louis Orphans Home from 1919 to 1943. I mean, she was truly invested in helping children who were orphans like she had been. She donated $10,000 to the building of the first St. Louis Orphans Home in St. Louis. And it's on Annie Malone Drive. And that home in 1940, I looked on the census and I saw a 9-year-old Mary Elizabeth Brace in that home. And Mary Elizabeth Brace was my mother. Yeah. So because of the love that Annie pursued, that she honored inside of herself, she did something on the planet that impacted me, impacted my mother. And interestingly enough, my mother got a stellar education. Even though she was raised in orphanages and convents by the Oblate Sisters of Providence, those sisters educated my mother, to a world-class education. She graduated high school when she was 15, and went to Bradley University, but that's the next chapter in this. So I just want to say, when a thought and a feeling get together, they have a baby. And if you let that thought and that feeling be love, that baby's going to be a beautiful baby. And it's going to create this world that we want to build, the world that works for everyone with no one left out, if we can just remember that love is always the answer. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it now. I love you all. Namaste, family.
Thank you, Reverend Mike. That is, I love family stories, and I love how it all comes together. And I love this idea of, 6 degrees of separation, that we're all just removed by 6 degrees of people, layers of people, and we're all connected in that way. And we talk about the oneness, and that's part of what it means. So, absolutely. So, today, as Reverend Mike has said, the talk title is Divine Love. And, there's 2 aspects to love. One is kind of a divine givingness, and the other one is a divine acceptance. And today what I want to talk about is the divine acceptance portion of it. And that aspect of divine love, that unconditional love, is also known as grace. It's this idea that I don't have to change one little bit for me to be perfect in the eyes that God has. And I'm putting up air quotes here because, of course, God isn't the man in the sky with eyes. God is all that it is, all that there is. And it knows itself as us individually. It knows itself as being whole, perfect, and complete as us. And that's where grace comes from. And so this divine acceptance that God is true of each and every one of us. And so here we are at Valentine's Day. And, when we're talking about unconditional love, I think this day of Valentine's Day, is kind of a reminder of this innate desire that each and every one of us have to know love, to feel love. And so we're going to be talking about this idea of divine acceptance, of divine love today. And on your screen right now should be a chart of from a quote from Anne Lamott. You got that up, Harris? Okay. So Anne Lamott, she writes a book called Grace, eventually, because, you know, I think actually us recognizing grace in our lives, it does kind of come over time. And she says the end of that title of the book is Thoughts on Faith. And that's appropriate because faith is what kind of gets us to this understanding of grace that we have. And so her quote here is, she says, "It's hard to remember that you are a cherished spiritual being when you're burping up apple fritters and Cheetos." And so we're being, we're being a little cynical here, but the reality is what she's saying there, burping up apple fritters and Cheetos, that's about as mundane a thing as we can get to, right? And what that represents then is it represents me being in this world, completely caught up in my body and in the little r reality that's all around me, and not remembering that I'm a spiritual being, not remembering that I am filled with grace always, not remembering the love that God is the truth of me. And so in that mundanity, and yes, I did look it up and make sure that's a word. In that mundanity, we're not high-minded spiritual beings anymore. We're down caught in the low life a little bit. And, there's nothing bad about being in this reality. This reality is where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be recognizing and living it 1 second at a time in this now moment that we're always in. But if we forget that we're also these spiritual beings, then we get trapped in it. And that's not where we want to be. And so Valentine's Day is a symbol then to remind us to get out of the mundane, to get back to this desire to know the love that we are and to have love in our life. And as Reverend Mike has reminded us, February is also Black History Month. And so what I want to do is I want to share with you a person who played a pivotal role in gay rights. And this person, they launch out of June 28th, 1969. Now, if you're gay, you probably know that date because that date is the date of the Stonewall riots. And that riot was happening in Greenwich Village in New York City back in the days when to be honest, gay people were persecuted all the time, everywhere. And so this person is showing up. We got a picture of Marsha P. Johnson on the screen right now. And if you're looking, the people in the auditorium can't see this picture, but it's a picture of obviously a man who's in drag. In other words, a person who is biologically male, has an XY chromosomes, but chooses to dress as a female, and her pronouns would therefore be her and she. And so we recognize this is not language that's foreign to us today, but it would have been in 1969. People would have been dumbfounded if you had said that it's okay for a man, biological man, to say that he was a woman and to dress like a woman. In fact, in 1969 in New York, it was illegal to dress as a woman. And that was one of the basic issues that was at hand at the Stonewall riots that happened that night. Because at that Stonewall Inn, which was, we would call it a gay bar today, but you couldn't call it a gay bar in 1969 because gay bars were illegal. So it was just a bar, and it would get raided about once every month by the police, and they would come in, they would put everybody in a line, they'd get down the telephone number or the names and the addresses of everybody that was there, and if you were dressed gender inappropriately, then you were arrested because it was against the law to do that. Well, this particular day, it's the end of the 60s, and lots of things was happening in the 60s in America. It wasn't just the civil rights movement. It was also, Vietnam was happening about then, and all these things and issues were showing up. But gay rights hadn't really been touched at that moment. And Marsha P. Johnson was what she called herself. It was her drag name. She was born Malcolm Michaels Jr., but she lived as Marsha P. And what'd she say? The P was pay no mind. Just pay no mind to what you're seeing, I am who I am. And on that particular night, for whatever reason, the transvestites in particular decided that they weren't going to just go peacefully into the paddy wagon. And on that particular night, the crowd didn't just disperse. The crowd, actually, we would call it a riot. And that was the beginning of the Stonewall riots that lasted for 3 days. And it was the beginning of what we would call the gay rights movement in America. And Marsha P. Johnson played a prominent role. It's hard to know exactly what the role was because it's not like the Capitol riots from January 6th, where everybody had a cell phone and was documenting it as they went along. But we know that she had a role, and she played a role after it in the civil rights movement. And so there are many, many people who have lived their life and had impacts way beyond what they might have even known in the moment. And you might be asking yourself, well, why is Reverend Scott telling me about this Jersey boy who moved to New York City when he was 17, became a New York City girl? Why is he telling me that story? What is it? And why am I telling it to you on Valentine's Day? Right? Why that story on Valentine's Day? Well, I think that the basic reason is because of that unconditional love. I don't know Marsha P. Johnson. I never met her. I didn't talk to her. But I would imagine that what was driving her was the desire for love. This universal desire for love that each and every one of us has, that drives our life, that moves us along in our life. And so, she didn't have the opportunity that we have today to turn to God. Because in those days, for her, dressed as a woman, the churches would have said, you are going to hell. That's what the message that was most likely heard by Marsha P. Johnson. But the good news is we've progressed. We've moved beyond that day. And what we know today is that, well, first of all, this denomination does not believe in hell. Right? We don't believe even in the judgment that would be required to send you to hell. We believe in the wholeness that we are, the absolute perfection that we are. And so I've got a quote from Emerson. Harris, if you'll pull that up for me, please. I've got a quote from Emerson here. It's from the Oversoul, and he says, "When we have broken our God of tradition and ceased from our God of rhetoric." So tradition, if we don't believe it, if we don't feel it, then it's really probably for us individually, it's not the God of our knowing. And so we break from that God of tradition. We break from the God of rhetoric. And when we do that, then may God fire the heart with his presence. That's when we feel the love that God is. That's when we feel the presence of God in our life. That's when we are divinely guided and divinely inspired. And that's our goal today, is to feel that love. Feel it for Marcia. Feel it for all the disenfranchised of the world. We get to know that truth for them until they can know the truth for themselves. I want to tell you a story that I heard on NPR. And this was a story that speaks to me about unconditional love. And it's a story about an autistic child. And I think, you know, there's so many children with autism nowadays. I think it's very, very rare for any person to not be impacted in one way or another by autism. We know somebody, we have a relative that's autistic, we see autistic children, and we know that this is something that does show up in our society. It's a health issue that they say is basically caused, they're still figuring this all out, but they think that it's caused by kind of a sensory overload in the brain. And so on NPR, there was a man telling his story of him and his wife and his son. And his son was, they talk about being on a spectrum of autism. And he was, at this particular moment, he was on the left side. He was, you know, fully embraced in autism in his childhood. And he had been doing okay for a while, and then he started to regress. And that regression looked like him sitting on the floor and rocking and flapping his hands, those things that we recognize as autistic behavior from severely autistic children. And they decided, out of the love that they felt for their child, they decided that they would join him. Rather than trying to pull him out of this behavior, they would join him. And so they would sit there for hours rocking with him. And the man said that after about 900 hours of doing this, if they did it for 9 hours a day, that would be 100 days of doing it in a row. After about 900 hours, for 3 seconds, their son stopped rocking and looked at him. And that is the power of love. And I'm not saying that this is the way to cure autism. What I'm saying is that love guided them. Love guided them to be with their son, not in a way that judged him, not that wanted him to be any different, not that required him to be different than who he was in that moment. It was just love. Pure, unconditional love. And I think that unconditional love will move mountains. So we have examples. We have examples of the need for love, and we have examples of where love inspires so much in our world. And so I think this Valentine's Day, what we're called to do is we're called to know love more fully, more completely in our lives. And sometimes, like in autism, like in in racism or sexism or any of those isms that are out there. Sometimes the world just feels like I can't figure it out. And that is when we go to prayer. Ernest Holmes says, and it's on your screen, he says, treatment opens up avenues of thought, expands consciousness, and lets reality through. Treatment, that's our method of prayer. It expands consciousness and it lets reality through. That's what we want. That's what we're desiring. That love that God is also the answer. And so I want to leave you with an affirmation that's showing up on your screen right now. Harris, you got it? And it says, if you'll read it along with me, it says, I recognize that my love exists unconditionally, so more and more love is created in my life. So let's say that again. I recognize that my love exists unconditionally, so more and more love is created in my life. And so as we go out into our week, what I'm knowing is that this is Valentine's Day. This is a day to celebrate love, however it shows up. It's a day to recognize that we all want love, that we all need love in our lives. And we're all a source of love for somebody out there. And so we get to take on this God quality of love and be the love that God is. And if we don't know how to do that, if we don't know what to do or what step to take next, as always, just let Spirit guide you. Thank you. Namaste. So Mahesh, if you would tickle the ivories underneath the prayer, I'd love it. And so let's go into prayer. Let's take this into our heart, into the love that God is, to know absolutely that that life, that power, that presence that Spirit is all love, 100% love. That there is no anything outside of love. Nothing besides the full, complete, and total love, unconditional love that God is. And as I know that to be the truth of God, I know it to be the truth of me. I know it to be the truth of you. I know it to be the truth of this entire world. There is a grace that we live within. We live as it. It's true of us whether we believe it or not, whether we step into it or not. It is always, always, always 100% present in our life. And that grace that we have is unconditional acceptance of who we are, of what we are, where we've been, whether we're in Barstow or whether we're in New York City or whether we're on the path that we had set. It doesn't matter. Spirit is all of us, always guiding us, always, always that loving presence that fills us up to full and overflowing. And so I know that as I have a desire for love, it is always fully met, 100% met by the love that God is, by that presence that's in our life always. And for knowing that, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now's the time for our conscious contributions. And so if we, well, let's see how I do. There we go. All right, so I want to thank all those people who have already given consciously to Ahiah, virtually or mailed in a check one way or another. And if you haven't done that yet, there are 3 ways showing up on the screen for you right now. And the first one is to go to ahiah.com/donate. And the second one is to text to give on the number that's on the screen. And the third one is we are happy to get checks in the mail. So feel free to just mail them to our address on the screen. And know that whatever that you give, it goes to support all that Ahiah does. Not just here on Sunday, but also throughout the week. Even though we're virtual, we are powerfully virtual. And so we have many, many things that are going on. We'll be going to be telling you about a few in just a minute. So let's go ahead and take that gift that you're giving virtually to your heart. And the blessing is showing up on the screen for you. And so if you'll read along with me, this gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. So now I'd like to go ahead and ask our band and Connie and Stefana to come on up, and they're about to sing you a song that I tell you, if you can sit in your seat while this song is playing, I don't know, I sure can. I'm going to be over here dancing.
All right, Ahiah, we'd like to do a little throwback from Stevie Wonder's songs in the key of life, and hopefully this brings you some fond, loving memories.
Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy the day would bring. Sneaking out the back door to hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. Hey! Read it at the back door that the nonna told you not to go outside. Try your best to bring the water to your eyes, thinking it might stop her from whipping your behind. I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? 'Cause I love them so. Brother said he's telling about you playing doctor with that girl. Just don't tell, I'll give you anything you want in this whole wide world. Mama gives you money for Sunday school. You trade yours for candy after church is through. Smoking cigarettes and writing something nasty on the wall. You nasty boy. Teacher sends you to the principal's office down the hall. You grow up and learn that this kind of thing ain't right, but while you were doing it, it sure felt out of sight. I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever never have to go. Come on now. That's right, y'all. Oh, how I love them. Bring those days back to me once more if you could.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Bring those days back to me. So we just have a couple of quick announcements for you. I want to remind you that we've got the Creating the Beloved Community on tomorrow at 7 o'clock, 7 to 9 o'clock. I brought the wrong slide, so I'm having to go by memory. But we are doing that. It's a wonderful thing. Reverend Mike has been leading us in this effort, and it's put on by Reverend Mike, myself, Reverend Karen, Marcia, and Kelly Metcalf. And so come join us as we talk about all the important things that we need to do as a community to create the capital B beloved community. And be not just here at Ahiah, but beyond these walls. That's the intention. That's what we are. We're going to do it right here on Monday, but that's just the beginning. It grows from there. And then I want to remind you that we have the nominating committee, and today is the last day to fill out your form. If you have not filled out the form to be on the board yet, today's it. So we would love to have you do that. And let's see. Oh, and then I also would like to have you put on the calendar March 28th. That's going to be our second virtual Ahiah annual meeting. So put that on your calendar. It'll be right after service. We'll go directly into it, and I would love, love, love to have you be there. You only have to be a member to vote, but if everybody is welcome, whether you're a member or not, whether it's your first day at Ahiah or not. We'll have lots of information about how we're moving forward as a community in this time of the pandemic and beyond, because we're starting to plan for how to come back from the pandemic and be here in our sanctuary and beyond, bring our classes back and all those types of things. So we'll give you an update at the annual meeting, and I would love to have you there. And now 2 short messages from Louise and Peter.
Hello, women of Ahiah. You are all invited and welcome to this month's Women's Circle on Friday, February 19th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The topic is love. We have an amazing speaker by the name of Tanya Anderson. She is a therapist, she is a shaman and an entrepreneur, and she infuses love in everything she does. We are going to have meditation. She'll be speaking, they'll be sharing, some social time, something for everyone. We are a heart-centered group. We are all-inclusive. Please join us in the Ahiah Zoom room at ahiah.com.
Hello, Ahiah. Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Bedard. I'm a practitioner here at the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living. I love you guys. I wanted to invite all of you to come to our Ahiah Writers Group. It is the second Sunday of every month from 1 o'clock to about 3 o'clock. And we meet online in our Zoom family room. And you don't have to do anything. Just show up. If you're interested in writing anything from poetry to lyrics to fiction or nonfiction, whatever it is, this is your place to actually be inspired and come right with us. Think of it like taking a yoga class. You don't need to be prepared to take the yoga class. You just have to show up. So bring your creative mind, bring your ideas, and come and join us this Sunday from 1 to 3 after the service and after the fellowship. We love to see you. All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. See you soon.
All right. Thank you, Peter and Louise. And absolutely come to the writers group. It's just going to be at 1 o'clock right after fellowship. So love having you here today. And let's go ahead and do our benediction. So if you'll read along with me, it should be on your screen. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. And so I will be with you in our Zoom room in just a few moments. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.